Riverwalk.
Hey, the tickets are right there? Thank you. You know how much are the tickets? $13.50. Awesome. And does it go all the way around?
Riverwalk. How's everyone doing today? All right. How about the rest of you? You guys doing pretty good also? Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'd like to start this tour, everyone, by first thanking all of you for being here today. This is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday, September 4th, 2022. Most of you have no idea the logistical process that it takes for San Antonio to take care of all of you on a day like today, on a weekend like this one. Did you know that we have anywhere between 62 and 60,000 people that operate the city to make it function for all of you today here, guys? If everyone that I just mentioned now had the opportunity that you're giving me, they'd be saying the same thing, guys. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
It's not a hop on, hop off, man. Just one road trip.
Alright. Let's go.
The idea was an established city 58 years before the United States finds its independence from Great Britain on July 4th, 1776. The Alamo predates the country 47 years. The oldest police department in the United States is in San Antonio. It's called the Bexar County Sheriff's Department, established 1731, everyone. This is 46 years before the country gets started. And it still operates today. It patrols my neighborhood. Great bunch of people. The building here to my left is the Hilton Palacio del Rio. We can find this hotel in the Guinness Books of World Records for being the fastest built. It was built in 202 days, 7.5 months from start to finish. In America, it's the fastest built still. If you've seen the movie Miss Congeniality with the adorable, talented Sandra Bullock, you're going to recognize the stage here. This stage here was the famous pageant scene of that movie. Right here. Now, I was very fortunate to have been working the morning it's being filmed here, and as I came around the turn, the producer would pick up a blowhorn and yell, "Cut!" Everyone stopped acting, including Sandra Bullock. She'd walk right up to the edge here, say hi to all of us as we went by. And on one of those many occasions that I was coming through here, you guys are probably not going to believe this, but Sandra Bullock and I, we actually locked eyes, guys, we sure did. I don't need to convince everyone on board. She and I know exactly what happened that morning. I'm sure wherever she sat, she's telling the same story. I just know it. Now, many of our visitors that come to this city will end up alongside this river like we did today, and most of them will think that this river here is man-made, and this is not a man-made river. It is natural, and it starts just 4 miles north of downtown at the campus of the Incarnate Word University. The spring that feeds this river, everyone, is called the Brujo. It bubbles out of the campus, cuts through the city, and it ends up at the San Antonio Bay, north of Corpus Christi, 240 miles from here. The trees you see amongst us, clear this bridge. If I could have everyone look over to my left, look up the building, you're going to see that this building takes up half a city block, but what you're about to see is going to appear like a flat wall standing on its own. I'm going to go really slow. I don't want you to miss it. To the left up above.
Yeah, we definitely turned the wrong way because we went right up with them.
Did you know, everyone, that this building here was the first air-conditioned hospital in the United States? 1930. Air-conditioned by Mr. Willis Carrier. The last name Carrier with air conditioning in America is synonymous. It goes hand in hand. Most people don't know that Mr. Carrier was not into air conditioning. He was an engineer that worked for a printing press, and the press was having difficulty keeping the ink from smearing in the summer heat. It ruined the print. It melted. Being the engineer that he was given the job to create a cooling system. Well, what do you think he did? He changed our lives forever. He invented air conditioning. Just 5 years after he patented his idea, he's a self-made billionaire, everyone. Mr. Carrier was 26 years old. Impressive. San Antonio would authorize Mr. Carrier to install air conditioning in the first 3 buildings of this country right here in San Antonio. He would install it in the Ben Milam building in 1921. Normal tree, but once they reach 100, 150 years, they slow down that growth, but they can reach an age of over 1,000 years. These trees date back between 600 and 800 years. These trees were here when Christopher Columbus landed on the sandy beaches of the Bahamas in 1492. They were 500 years old the morning of the Battle of the Alamo. This river is not only natural, but it's estimated to be older than the Great Lakes by more than 2,000 years. As this river flowed to the Gulf of Mexico, the Great Lakes sat under 300 feet of glacier ice. In order for the Great Lakes to have been created, it was not through the occasional rainfall. It was massive blocks of ice melting over a span of at least 2,000 years. Fascinating, right? This river flows in the Gulf of Mexico. You guys want to hear a little Texas fun fact? Alamo Car Wash, Alamo Tattoos. I only know one business that shows the real name, and you might have gone there today and pumped a gallon of gas at $3.22, at $3.22 if you went by a Valero gasoline station, everyone. Valero gasoline service stations, they opened up with the real name of the mission. Valero. You see, you now know what 99% of this country has no idea, despite of knowing so much about this city. And you picked it up in your first 3 minutes of your boat ride, guys. Fascinating. Before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Roberto. I'm going to be piloting the boat for 30 minutes, 2 miles from the heart of downtown. There's no stops along the way, it's a round trip. There's no standing, no smoking, and everyone's sitting on the rails. Just be careful with your arms and elbows. We have 40 life jackets on this boat that we've never used. They're brand new. Anyone falls into the river, don't freak out. Just stand up and walk right out. 3 feet deep. I'm going to show you why this city's called San Antonio, everyone. See the saint here to my right? See the saint? See the saint just past the sinners? San Antonio de Padua, that's the saint. He's good, but he's no saint. He's a good fella, but no saint. San Antonio de Padua, everyone, was born in Lisbon, Portugal in 1195. At the age of 36, he died in Padua, Italia. Okay? 300 years later, about 400 Spanish men arrive here, and they're not alone. There's about 30,000 people living here already. We call them natives. They were thriving here, called Payaya Indian. They called this place Yanaguana. In their dialect language, it means a place of peaceful waters, everyone. The Spanish arrived here on June 13, 1691. You know what the Spanish wrote in their journals when they got here? This is what they said. I'm going to take you to that morning. They said, "We've encountered a massive tribe of native people. They welcomed us with open arms. They seem so perfect to be candidates for Catholicism." You know why we have 5 missions in San Antonio? These Spanish decided to stay here, teach the native Spanish to convert them to Catholicism. And they achieved it quite rapidly. But they arrived here on June 13, 1691, everyone. On the Catholic calendar, it's the feast day of the Saint San Antonio. So they changed the name.